Hey everybody, welcome to another live hosted by me, Mr. Philly. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday afternoon. I know I am. I'm not be able to go anywhere because my car's in the shop. So, kind of stuck here for the day. I usually do like questions and answers kind of thing later at nighttime, but I don't really have much going on today since, I'm without a vehicle. So, I'm just stopping in, saying hello, how are you doing and everything, and see who's on and, see who wants to come and chit chat and, talk about this topic that we're talking about, or anybody that has anything fun or interesting they want to share or talk about, I'd love to hear about it. I'm doing well, Kayla. Thank you. How are you? I'm doing well. All right. So first, I'm going to answer the question, and then the floor is your guys's. I'm going to give you examples of book ending, movie ending that I like very much, and then the floor is your guys's. And anything else that you want to talk about, then I'd love to hear about it. Anything interesting or fun, or talk about your how your weekend's going. I'd love to hear about it. All right. Anyway, so. Now there's movies that I love. These aren't my favorite movies, and these aren't my favorite books that I'm talking about here. Let me point out. There's movies that I like, and then there's movies that I don't like. Movies are pretty hit or miss nowadays. I mean, it's hard. And when I watch a movie nowadays, I'm really picky. If I really start like, if it just really starts off no good and it just doesn't get any better, usually after the first 30 minutes, unless I have nothing better to do, I'm not gonna watch it. Unless I'm really curious about it. But yeah, that doesn't usually happen very often. But I mean, there's sometimes, I see a movie and, I'll watch it until the end if I'm forced to, or if I just, if I just end up watching a movie that I don't like until the end. There might be aspects of a movie that I like, and then there's some movies that are okay, but like, no, would I rewatch them? No. I mean, like, this, that. There are some movies like, that actually do have something about them that I do like, but all in all, I mean, like, I know it's a thing to actually, generate what makes I mean it's a very opinionated topic to talk about what makes a good movie good, and pointing out one aspect of a movie that's good, but I mean usually if a majority of a movie's no good, the acting, the dialogue, or the storyline, then usually it's just garbage. But like now, I mean, these movies, now needless to say, these movies that I'm about to share, and this book that I'm about to share, aren't garbage, but they're not really my favorite, and they're not something I'd probably watch again. Maybe, but hello, Cheese. How are you? Nice to meet you. So, my favorite book ending. Now, I did, and I cheated a little bit. The Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know if anybody's read it. It's definitely reading. It's very hard though. I mean, I cheated a little bit. I read a children's version of it. A younger version, and it did cut out a lot of, a lot of it. Hey, Natasha, how are you? How's it doing, stranger? Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, there was a lot cut out in this easier version that I read, and The Count of Monte Cristo is actually a hard read itself because there's just a lot of old English in it, and a lot of the main characters are called different names, so it's a very hard read. So I mean, hey, if anybody has the patience to read it, I don't read as much as I should, but I wish I would. But I keep saying I'm going to read more often, but yeah, I do better with audiobooks. That's great. Nice to see you. Nice to see how you just pop up. But yeah, I always keep thinking you're gone. You're not on social media as much anymore. But yeah, so Count of Monte Cristo though, it was a good read. Very interesting story. Cool story. Cool story about somebody. I think it's actually the ultimate revenge story, actually. So, and it was really beautifully done, and it was beautifully written. But I mean, it's not my favorite. Obviously, it's a lot to read, a lot of information, just a lot happening in the story, especially in the original book. I'm sure there was a couple of movies that were based off of it. They all were garbage, actually. But the ending, I will say, the ending of that book, I think it was pretty similar to my ending in the children's and the younger adult version that I read. The reason why it ended so beautifully, and honestly, this is probably one of my best quotes. Honestly, it's just sometimes a movie can be no good, but in the end, actually can make up for it. It could be have a beautiful line in the end. It could have a really solid ending and just end on a note that kind of, just gives you a really good, happy, positive feeling. And that's really what this book did. So the ending of this book was what I really liked was, the Count, the original Edmond Dantes, the original, character in the book. He's about to board a ship, and he's done with he did. He got back and got even with everybody that screwed him over and put him in jail for 14 years. And one of some person asked him, where are you gonna go? I was like, I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna go out to sea and see where the sea takes me. I was like, I'm just gonna, rely on what I did for the last 14 years. Hope, wait, and pray. I'm not exactly sure did he use the word pray, but that was just That was just really solid. It just really hit home and just knocked it out of the park, you know? I think it just ended on a note of hope. You know, so here's a guy who's been in prison for 14 years. For those of you who don't know the story about Count of Monte Cristo, guy goes to prison for 14 years for conspiracy to being a spy for the king. Um, of England, you know, because he went to England, he was a sailor, and he was very uneducated. And he goes back to France, and he has a letter, and they think he's a conspiracy, so they put him in jail, and everybody kind of screws him over, even the people that were friends of his, and you know, he gets back at him, and he sits in prison for 14 years, right? And yeah, so very interesting, and I'm sure, I mean, this is not based on a true story, this is just all fantasy, but I'm sure there were political prisoners in those days that probably did face prison time for something they didn't do, for conspiracies based on hearsay evidence and trumped up charges and such. So it was one of those things, and yeah, and that's why that makes it a good book. I think it's a prison book, and it's a story about redemption. It's a story about building your life back up. And, you know, here's a guy with nothing who gets his life screwed over and then comes right back to the top. I think that's actually, and there's a lot of movies where we see that element of somebody, you know, it starts and you know ends up in a really crappy situation, but in the end, he actually ends up on top, and you know, twice the person that he was in that situation. I think The Count of Monte Cristo inspired that concept, you know. But yeah, that was the original. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but that concept, you know, we do see it in other movies and other books actually, and I think that's why there's a legacy behind it. But you know, like I said, the ending is really what made it solid, and what it really made it knocked it out of the park. You know, I think the hope, you know, the virtue of hope actually is what you know, the message that it portrayed in the end. I think it did end on some great messages, you know, honestly, and I think you know, the parts of it that were actually not liked by some people were the vengeance in it, but in the end, actually, it does show. I mean, it kind of glorifies vengeance a little bit and revenge, but in the end, actually, it does show that vengeance isn't everything, and it actually does show that revenge actually does have consequences. So sometimes revenge can make things worse. But I think it's beautiful how it is written, and you'd have to read it. You know, it's hard reading, but yeah, I mean, if you guys ever, you know, if you guys are into English literature and you know old school books, you know, I think the kind of love reading anybody that loves to read and is into old school books and you know that type of fantasy and action, I think Count of Monte Cristo would be a great read. And like I said, you know, just the quote in the end of that book, all I can do is hope, wait, and pray. I think that is just a beautiful quote, and I think it was a beautiful ending, and it just gave such a great feeling. And yeah, it was just wow, it was beautiful. It knocks you off your feet, you know, and wows you, that kind of thing. That's why I loved it. Beautiful. So anyway, and yeah, that's just how it ended. I think it's just the quote and the ending that made it so beautiful. So anyway, number two. Next one that I liked was um so the Lord of the Rings. Okay, the book and the movie I think were pretty similar. I will talk about the movie then because I think the movie kind of really elaborated on this, but the book was kind of similar, but I think it kind of implied it as much. I read the first. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan. I did like the first one, and I did like the first book. I couldn't get into the second movie or the third movie, and I didn't read the second or the third book. But I don't know. Honestly, it was just medieval stuff. I used to kind of like that when I was young, but I just don't. Medieval fantasy. I just not into that anymore. But I think the first one had a lot. The reason why I like the first, I wouldn't watch it again, but like had a lot of beautiful elements in it. I think it had a lot of great points in it. I think it had, and one of the reasons why I loved it is because you know the ending. I think it just had, and I think this is I really do believe this is why that won Best Picture of 1999, The Lord of the Rings. The way it ended was just so beautiful. Like in the end, okay, and then spoiler alert ahead. I apologize, guys, if you guys haven't seen it. You know, when Frodo, you know, after everything's said and done, you know, at the end of the movie, he says to Sam, you know, who guides him along his journey to, you know, take the ring and, you know, destroy it from where it was created on Mount Sauron or whatever. And he tells Sam, you know, if you don't want to come with me, this is a dangerous, perilous journey. You know, you can turn back at any time. And it was just so beautiful. And this is just, I mean, the value of friendship that this like really hit home for me. Like Sam says, you know, I made a promise to Gandalf. I made a promise to watch over you, and I'm going to stick to it. That, I mean, like, that was just such a beautiful note. And I think that's partially why it ended on, I mean, it won Best Picture because of just that beautiful ending. Just the way it hit and the way it was, and the way it was filmed. It was just, it was knocked out of the park. I mean, yeah, it was a good film, and that's the only one that I liked. I liked the first one. The Fellowship was good. It was well made. It was well done. I mean, the Lord of the Rings were a little bit, I mean, a little bit kind of iffy putting into a book. You know, there's just so much into the book actually, and you know, there's just so much. It's just hard to but what they had to work with, you know, I mean, all three of them from people that I've known that have watched them, and you know, from the first one that I watched, I think you know Peter Jackson did a really good job, you know, making those movies. But I mean, like at the end of the day, the books are still always going to be better, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those books that's just really hard to adapt into film. But I think, you know, for the first one, I think did the best for what they had to work with. They cut out a lot of stuff, but yeah, like the ending was just so solid. And the book does mention it too, but I don't think it really goes into elaborate detail as much as the movie does. And I think this is what, like I said, I think that's the reason why I got Oscar nominated. It just was a solid ending, like, you know, the aspect of friendship. You're like, that right there, I mean, that right there is a true friend. You know, somebody saying, I am going to stick by you on this journey, you know, because they got two more movies and two more books where they're actually in the next two books and the next two movies, they're doing the same thing. They're on that journey until the third book, you know, trying to get rid of that ring that has so much power and it's evil. And yeah, it was just, yeah, it really hit home. It was just really solid. It was just, wow, just a really great feeling, very, very positive feeling, you know. I think it just ended on a great value of friendship. Like that is a true friend, right? You know, and I think you know the fact that that book was made into a movie, and you know, I think it was just the first of its kind. You know, we didn't really see medieval movies made like that before that put a lot of money and energy into them, and I think that's probably why it won Best Picture. And it was a really good storyline, and I think it was just really cool that somebody adapted into a movie. I think that's why the Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings, the first one got Best Picture, and then the third one did it too. I think, not really sure, but yeah, I think that yeah, it did get Best Picture. Yeah, I think it was definitely maybe not Best Picture worthy, Best Directing, Best Cinematography, Best Screenplay, but definitely a great script, definitely a great story. You know, not my favorite. Like I said, I'm not into medieval books anymore, but I think that one was actually a solid home run. Definitely worth a watch, definitely worth a read. So yeah, great endings, great quotes. All right, guys, floor is yours. All right, how's everybody doing today? I'm talking about The Lord of the Rings and The Count of Monte Cristo. I mean, they're not my favorite books. They're books that I liked, and I just like the endings. I like the endings more than I like the whole book itself. That kind of thing. So that's why we're talking about favorite book endings, movie endings. You know, there's just some movies that have just endings that just really wow you, just really sweep you off your feet or whatever. You know, I was like, wow, that was solid. It just kind of makes you want to stand up and give a round of applause or something. And I think those were two. Yeah, those I was just talking about my two favorite book and movie ending. Why? So anyway, anybody else have anything to talk about, or I hope everybody has a good day. You know, if anybody has anything else they want to share or talk or share or talk about, I'd love to hear about it. If anybody doing anything fun or interesting today, I'd love to hear about it. You know, I'm not doing much. You see what I'm doing. You know, I like I said, I'm without a vehicle. So am I. I would be going out doing stuff. I probably would be out fishing if I wasn't home. But you know, like I say, you know, my car is being repaired right now. So I can't really do anything. But anyway, my vape is about to run out of gas. That sucks. I'm trying to get a hold of my brother because he's out with he can get Well, I tried to do it earlier, but if you want to try again, sure. What we call I was having problems with mine. I thought you were gonna send me one, but I mean, if you want to try again, I thought I saw something that you did try to send me, but if you want to try again, I don't know. I was having issues trying to go live today. I don't know. I might need to update my YouTube app, so I'm not really sure. Thank you. Yeah, well, we can try again here in a bit if you want. That kind of sucks too, you know. I mean, the last 2 days would have been a nice fishing. Well, actually, Thursday would have been a really good fishing day because it rained and then it stopped. Like the barometric pressure was changing. Somebody people work told me you should go fishing on Friday, but oh well, because we've had so much rain recently, and right after rain is like perfect timing. But oh well, it is what it is. There's always next week. We still got quite a few weeks of summer left, so yeah, and it's not going anywhere soon. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I don't know. I hope and imagine. I think next week is not supposed to rain because we've had so much of it this month, and this summer alone we've had quite a bit of it. It's been definitely hot, but oh I was trying to think though. There's another movie now or a book that's in my head that I was thinking about that had a really good ending. Oh, now I can't remember. It was on the tip of my tongue here in a moment. I'll think about it here in a second, but yeah. Oh gosh. Trying to think of something else. There was another one that just crossed my mind that had a really good ending. But this movie was a good movie in general, but I can't remember what it was. It'll come back to me, so yeah. We'll see. Well, I hope I'm having an okay day. I'm sure everybody's also who's out and able to drive and is having a better day than me, though. So, and if I wasn't here, I'd be out fishing, though, and then I'd be talking with you guys. I'd probably be streaming another fishing live. But yeah, we have next week, though. Oh, and then I also talked about I was gonna make a sandwich tonight too, but I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. So I think we're gonna do that next week. So yeah, uh, sure. Um, yeah, we definitely. If my car is out of the shop, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna be able to do, but definitely gonna try if I can make it to the grocery store in a reasonable time. Hopefully we'll do some lives during the week next week and do some cooking. So but yeah, we'll see. So I also wanted to mention there was just something that I recently tried. I don't know if anybody's ever tried a valerian root. I'm trying to find alternatives. Because I didn't drink much of it because I didn't drink it all this week. Um, um, and did anybody ever tried a valerian root? So it's like a herbal tea. It smells really bad, but I just wanted to share. I think it'd be an interesting point. Anybody that likes natural supplements or natural herbs. Um, I'm gonna try kava actually, and there's one that yeah, actually this is a fun, interesting topic too. Yeah, that'll be worth mentioning. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. Um, yeah, no, well, first there's a natural herbal tea. I think it's a root. It's called valerian. It smells like crap though, but yeah, it smells like complete shit. But it's supposed to make you sleepy, and I tried it last night, but I kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't. Kind of made you feel dizzy. I kind of feel like a little bit of a weed high. It was interesting. I'm one to try different supplements. Usually I drink beer or drink alcohol. That's what usually is my calming medicine. But trying to stray away from that. So I tried yeah some supplement, and I mean I kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't. I feel like you need to use a lot of it. Didn't make me as tired as I wanted it to be, but I think more of a body high. I kind of felt like a little bit not like as extreme, not as potent as weed, but it kind of felt a little bit like that. And I don't really like that feeling though, because I've mentioned it many times. I never really understood, people who, are into weed or big pot smokers, because like I never really liked that high, the body high that it gives you. I really don't like body highs of any kind of supplement or drug because, you know, I just like having more control of my body. Oh, that sluggish feeling and feeling like you can't move your body or anything, that's just a really boring feeling to me. Ender's Game. Okay, very good. I've heard of it. I think there is a movie about that, isn't there? I've heard of a movie. Oh, shoot. Oh, so it's about endings too, you know. I should have elaborated. That's very good though. I haven't read it though. I don't know. I heard about the movie, but I didn't hear good things about it. I want to say that was the series though, kind of like the Hunger Games, I think. But yeah, I don't know much about it. I should have elaborated. I think it's just more about like ending. Yeah, what I meant to say is, yeah, the question. Oh, you can tell me your favorite book, but yeah, I think I already covered that one in this question, that topic in another live. But what's your favorite ending in a book? You know, you don't necessarily have to like the book that much, but it could be a good book. Not my favorite, but it just had a really, really great ending, basically. That kind of a thing. So yeah, favorite ending in a book and favorite movie, favorite ending in a movie. And there's a few like movies that weren't really that great, but that just like I said, and these movies aren't really my favorite. They were good, but I mean, they were okay. I wasn't really into them that much, but like I did like them for what they had and for the elements and for the plots that they did have. But like I wouldn't read them or watch them again, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, there's a book or a movie that could just have a really, really great, solid, powerful ending that just really hits home. So yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what this topic was about. So that's what I meant. But yeah, appreciate your input though. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, getting back to it, supplements. Yeah, I'm gonna start trying like new supplements. The one If I go for a book, okay, Taxi Driver for a movie. Yeah, yeah, very good. You know, Taxi Driver was a good movie. Yes, good movie. I do agree. There was a lot of elements in the movie that I did like, but there's some things that I didn't like about it. I didn't like the ending in that. I think it was kind of oblique. I don't really like oblique endings unless I think it ends that you understand. You know, I think it was kind of a little, just kind of ended basically. I mean, it was too much of an implication, but I think it could have been more solid. Yeah, definitely a good movie though. Fight Club, I could not get into that movie or book. Oh, that is a book. I didn't know that. I watched the movie, if that counts, but like the book's probably better, but I don't know. I think it was just too much for me. I couldn't really get into the plot twist. I don't know. It just wasn't. It just didn't really hit me. Hello, Barbara. How are you? Leo, thank you for your input. I appreciate it. Verity, are these books then, or I'm not sure if they're movies or books. Okay, I'm assuming they're books. Sure. I mean, if you're talking about like the endings of the books, or you're talking about the endings, you're like I was talking about. Sorry, I should elaborate this question better here. I could probably elaborate it. Really? Haven't heard of that. Sounds good. You have to tell me the name of it again so I can look it up. Are you talking about Taxi Driver? I understand, but you know, I don't know. I can't get into endings like that. Okay, much better. Favorite ending in a movie slash book. There we go. I like more solid endings. But yeah, there was one ending. Well, actually, which is weird, because I was a big Stephen King fan for many years, and you know, I've drifted away from it. I do like Stephen King. I think he's really good at creating scary stories. I think he's really good at creating scary monsters and scary atmospheres. But he's not really good at ending. You know, like bleak. He always has a lot of bleak endings. I don't know what it is. I don't think he really likes endings that much. It's just weird. But yeah, but yeah, like I said, I just don't. I just can't get into bleak endings. I have to understand something a little bit more. I guess I like more. I guess more. I'm more of a positive person when I watch something. Yeah, I want to see more positive ending, even in more like horror flicks. Unless it just kind of goes along. It kind of has to go along with the flow, though. Minecraft 2? Oh, well, I haven't even seen the first one. Um, I don't know if I would watch that. I'm not a kid anymore. I think that's too much. I think that's a kid's show, but I mean, if somebody, I mean, I'll watch whatever. If somebody invites me over, I'll watch whatever. I wouldn't turn it off. Wholehearted movie, Spirit Away. Okay, okay. I know what you're talking about. Haven't seen it, but I think that's a cartoon. Okay, well, thank you for your input. I might have to check that out. Very wholehearted, yes, and I like wholehearted endings, which is weird because I like a lot of scary flicks too. But like I say, it has to really go along with the flow of the film. But Class. Okay, interesting. Anyway, yeah. Name that other movie that you were talking about, Barbara. I'm not really sure. So the Mob, you're saying, or what? Or that's a movie, and then Verity. Okay, I didn't know they were movies. Okay, okay, hmm. That's a movie, really. I've never heard of that. Wow, or a book. I thought that sounds more like a book, but okay. I'll have to look that up then. Okay, so it's the book is good, or just the ending is good, more or less, or it's just a really solid. It's on YouTube. Oh, okay. So it's a short film. Okay, or a book then. I'll have to look it up. Thank you very much for telling me. Scary. Okay, kind of movie made by a streamer. Oh, short film. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people at work always tell me to watch short films. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, kind of scary, but is it good? Does it have a good ending? Is it a good story? Good plot? It's worth a watch, would you say? If you're recommending, then yeah, I'd love recommendations. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Oh, I do like scary recommendations though, but thank you. Thank you very much. There was another guy that I mean somebody else from work just recently told me about a short film that was called what was it called? Gosh, The Portrait of God. I don't know if you ever seen that. That's like a 7 minute horror flick, short flick on YouTube. I kind of got it, but I kind of didn't. Basically, the way it is, basically if you continuously stare in the abyss, it stares back at you. That's the basic concept. So it's not even good? Oh. Well, I thought you were telling, oh. So no, I was just asking, like, is this one that you're recommending though? Is it good though? Kind of. I mean, I don't know. It's just a 7 minute short. I mean, somebody is writing about the existence of God and then starts staring at this picture. Supposedly, it's just a blank picture, but it's supposed to be God in it, or yeah, it's supposed to be the image of God is supposed to be on it. And then, oh, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then and then basically that's how it starts off, and then that the person keeps staring at it, and then it just gets weird from there. Okay, I kind of have the spoiler alert, but I shouldn't go anywhere further. If I give too much, I just pretty much spoil it. I mean, it's you know, it's all right. I think Lights Out was kind of Lights Out that actually started, and Backrooms that started as a internet short or whatever. I didn't see the Backrooms, but I heard of it. I don't really understand I don't really understand that. And Backrooms became a movie. I don't know why I didn't. I just don't really feel like watching. I don't know. I just don't have a desire to watch it. But yeah. Hey, Jaden, how are you? Saw I thought you the other day. How are you doing? Really? Yeah. I mean, it really isn't. It's just really about a bunch of back rooms. Well, I actually thought, there was kind of a story behind it. I don't know if you know the person that does Morbid Facts, but he did one, short, well, there's one video where he did, this person with dementia got lost in this mall, and beneath this mall, there was a bunch of like looks like what you'd see in the movie Backrooms. It was a very confusing place, and if you didn't work there, you didn't know the area, you would get lost, and somebody got lost in downstairs in a mall and trying to look for the restroom. And he had dementia. He was there for like 2 weeks and died of starvation. So I thought that's where that movie came from. So it kind of get loosely inspired by a true story. a truthful incident. I think it was based on an incident, so that kind of makes sense. I don't know. Well, I mean, I got positive reviews. I mean, I want to watch it, but I kind of don't actually. I think it's just kind of confusing. It more looks more like a puzzle movie, an alternate reality kind of puzzle. But I don't know. I don't think, and I do watch a lot of other YouTubers that rate horror flicks too. And there's one that actually does have good reviews that I do watch, and they said there's things that I liked about Backrooms, but there's things that I didn't like about it. There's really no monster. I mean, it's just kind of like maybe there is. It just you really don't ever see it, honestly. It's just kind of like a puzzle, kind of a horror flick, from my understanding, the way this person described it. There's some good things about it, but there's some things that I didn't like about it. So overall, I mean, it was okay. So that's kind of why I was like iffy on watching it. Well, it's a very interesting topic. Thank you, Barbara. Well, I appreciate your input on all this. Yes. I'm just trying to think. There was another book or a movie that I had in my head that was actually okay, but it had a really good ending. Well, actually, it was a good. There was another one that I was thinking of. I just really wanted to mention it. But oh well. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, well, thank you for telling me. Well, I might actually go watch it now. Oh, you didn't have to tell me that much, but okay. Now I'm actually tempted to watch it. Okay, so I didn't actually know that. I thought it was more of a puzzle, but okay. Oh, man. Well, I think I'm watching Backrooms after this. Thank you for telling me. And the other one that you mentioned, yeah. Now you got me into it. Now you got me curious. Well, puzzle, what do you call it? Maze movie, Maze, Lost in a Maze. I do like Lost in, caught up in a movie where you're like in a maze horror flicks or whatever, but they have to be done right. It could be easily really, really boring. Well, like, yeah, a maze, and then there's a puzzle that you have to solve, but they have to really, really kind of click with each other. There has to be, a climax. There has to be, one clue after another, and then it has to lead up to a grand ending, basically. But sometimes we go in circles with a lot of these stories. Oh, okay. So it's a little different than anticipated. Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh shoot. I think I'm watching Backrooms and the other one that you mentioned. Right, right. I mean, it got positive reviews, and I look at reviews too. People who, when they give reviews to movies, I take that into consideration now. I used to watch whatever was in front of me. I mean, I still will. I mean, if somebody else is watching something, then I'm invited to watch it with them. I'm not gonna turn it off, but um, yeah, I'm really more picky about what I watch nowadays. Like, if a movie's just boring in 20 minutes, then I just turn it off and watch another one or whatnot. Unless I'm really, really curious to see what happens in the ending. I mean, there's good and bad, but then like the movie just doesn't get any better. But you just really want to find out, the mystery and the whole feeling and the whole flick. It's just like, well, that was actually a pretty good, solid ending. I mean, that was a cool. I mean, that was a surprise twist. It was a good twist, but the acting was poor, the script was poor. Yeah, like I say, I watch the Rotten Tomatoes ratings on movies. Like I mean, they're professionally done by like people who are professionally studying movies. They study the acting, the storyline, the script, and everything. And I don't agree with all of them. I think some movies are rated overrated, and I think some movies are underrated. But like, yeah, I mean, usually, I mean, you have to judge. I'm a little nerd too. I used to be a diehard nerd, not as much as I used to be, when it comes to movies and TV and whatever, and coming to rating on movies and everything. Like, there's people that like critics that like study movies. Good script, good camera. If I watch a movie, I could tell you if it's a cheap camera sometimes, even too. I could tell you if it was cheaply made. But like, I think Corey Baker actually proved to us you really don't need a lot of money, and you really don't even need a good camera to actually make a scary flick. I think Obsession proved that to us. And that was made on like I don't even know if it was made on a not even $100,000 budget or whatnot. Yeah. that's a masterpiece. And I'm not gonna lie, I really think Obsession is actually going to win an award. I think that's going to be the first horror flick that's going to win an award in so many years. I think the last horror flick, which is not really a horror flick, in my opinion, was the Silence of the Lambs that won Best Picture. So I'm really surprised. It should have been Misery. um, but I really am not going to be surprised. I really think that Obsession will be the first horror movie in so many years because horror flicks don't normally don't get awards or whatever at Oscars, but I really do. It's worth a watch. Yes, it's different. I think it was just I think it's just really original. It's just a new part of a original masterpiece kind of a thing. Yes, I think the acting was really well done. That's really what it was, and I think the reason why it stood out so much, it was just made on a crappy budget, and it was made by a YouTuber, and yeah. I like it if you like obsession movies, crazy stalker ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, but it's a little more deeper than that, kind of like a more of a possession. But I think I think the acting really and the eerie atmosphere that they used for it made it really good. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I think not for everybody, but yeah, if you like those types of movies, yes, that will definitely be. And I think the reason why it became so popular and it's pretty much the next icon besides The Exorcist is like going to be kind of going down in history as one of the most iconic horror movies in a long time, which I mean it pretty much has, is because of what do you call it? Just because of how it was made, and it was just made on a crappy budget, and it was basically so original. Basically, be careful what you wish for, and I think it really dove into. It took obsessive stalking and crazy psycho ex-boyfriend or girlfriend to the next level, to like a more possessive level. I think it created kind of its own genre. So yeah. Oh, there's that, but there is a story to it. But like I just mentioned, I think it just takes, obsession and making bad wishes to the next level and, kind of a possession, but a little bit of possession involved into that. And I just think the way it did it, it just smacked basically. So yeah, you might not like it, I don't know. I liked it. It was pretty good. It was pretty creepy all around. I just think they did a really good job with the creepy atmosphere. So yeah. I mean, it wasn't overly over the top, but it was definitely worth a watch. I think the acting really was what made it good. Yeah, and like I said, I really think this is going to be the first horror movie in many, many years that's going to win an award. I mean, maybe not Best Picture, but I think it's probably going to win Best Directing or Best Actress or something like that. I would not be surprised. Which, like I say, is very rare for horror flicks. So yeah, the last I think horror flick that did win an Oscar award was The Silence of the Lambs, Best Picture, and I don't really even consider that a horror flick. I consider it more of a murder mystery. Oh, well, I thought we could be friends. That's actually, well, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually one of my favorite horror flicks. Oh yeah, there was a lot of that, but I did think I thought there was a good story in that. I think it had a lot of great jump scares. I think that was the best jump scare movie I had seen in years. That's actually number on my top five list nowadays. And I'm really picky, I mean, there's some that are okay, but that one kind of really did smack, actually. I did like Smile 2, actually. That's probably one of my new favorite horror flicks of all time. I just think the jump scares were really good. That's what I did like, and it did focus on a lot of that. But I think it was really interesting. I mean, it was a little over the top, in some aspects. But I think what worked with it was the jump scares and the eeriness and the creepiness. And I really liked how it just really kept going in so many different directions. And that there was a entity tormenting somebody else, kind of like The Ring. You die in 7 days if you don't try to fight the curse. I think it really did put a good spin on it. Yes, exactly, and that's what I did like that. I think it did hit. It could have been better, but yeah, I actually did like that movie a lot. I said that's probably on my top five list now. I don't know why, but yeah, I think it was even better than its predecessor. Okay, maybe I'm a little different, maybe I do get into the cliches and the critiques of today, but yeah, that I think, Smile 2 was good. If you put aside some of the aspects of it, it had some good jump scares. It really kept you in suspense. I mean, I think it did go off a tangent. It was going in a really, really, really crazy explosive direction. But then it had a major plot twist, and I think it just smacked. That's me. Oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was the first movie that I actually did jump, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like kind of like a pop-up jump scare when you're at a haunt. Yeah, that was the first time I had been in a movie where that actually, where I had it. I was like, well, I got spooked out of my chair a little bit, and I do like that, and I applaud for somebody to scare me or whatever, because that's what I want to see. I want to see a thrill when I'm in a movie theater. I pay to see a scare. I pay to actually get thrills. I do like the edge of your seat feeling. Well, I appreciate the conversation. This was fun. Thank you. So I might actually I'm probably definitely going to give Backrooms a watch though. But thank you. Hey, if you, I am into movies, but that's not what I cook and fish on my channel. If you're into that type of content, then, hope maybe you'll leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. If not, that's fine. So if you're interested, drop a like. Anyway. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun live. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you very much. All right, well, I'm gonna get going too, so y'all gotta eat dinner. So let's stop. Appreciate it. Hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, I'd love to have more. This is a lot of fun. Very much for watching. I don't forget to like and follow, and as